everyone. So today we're going to be taking a look at this 2015 BMW 330 Diesel M Sport. New is taking place at Kelly's Toyota, situated in Letterkenny, County Donegal. For all contact information regarding this dealership, please see the description box below. So in today's review, we'll be taking a look at the interior of the car. I'll explain how all the features work, also start it up, look at the engine, go over the performance data, take a look around the exterior. I'm also going to take the car on a detailed test drive. So I'm going to go ahead now and fire up the car and we'll take a look around the exterior first. And this being the M Sport model, it's got this very nice blue, Astral blue trim going around this part of the key fob. So the 3 Series has a completely keyless ignition. So if we just leave the key fob here in the center console, hit the engine start stop button, apply the foot brake and hit it again to power on the engine. So we'll turn on the hazards as well as the headlights, front and rear fog lamps, and all 4 windows are fully automatic. Okay, so this particular car, as I said, is the M Sport, so of course you get the very nice sporty styling kit which really enhances the overall appearance of the car, and it's finished here in Astral blue, which in my opinion is probably one of the nicest colours you can have a BMW in. It's a very nice shade of blue and it's only exclusive to the M Sport models. You can't get the current generation of the BMW M3 in Astral blue. This car has the standard headlights. You can get optional LED headlights. And it's also got the lower LED front fog lights and the signature kidney grille. You also got front and rear parking sensors on this car. This particular 330 diesel has the 19-inch 7-split spoke alloy wheels. Very nice design. They look really good with this car. It's got 4-wheel ventilated steel disc brakes as well as an independent McPherson strut front suspension with a multi-link setup in the rear. And you got the M badge on the front wing, as well as LED indicators on the exterior mirrors. And sun protection glass, which is one of the optional extras from the factory, along with the shark fin antenna. And you got the very nicely designed LED taillights as well. Twin exhausts. So boot space in the 3 Series is pretty good. Measures in at about 480 litres. I got a few things back there, but as you can see, it's pretty good in size. You can certainly fit quite a few items back here. Very typical size for a 4-door saloon in this market. And also, as you can see, I got a few things in the little storage compartment off to the left as well. Personally, I'm a very big fan of the way this particular car looks. I think the colour and the spec is just right on this car. And also it's got, of course, the 3-litre straight-six turbo diesel engine. The next car up from this is the most powerful diesel you can get in the 3 Series. It's the 335D, which has the same 3-litre engine in this, but it's got the twin-scroll turbocharger system. But yeah, this is certainly one of the nicest looking 3 Series I've seen in quite a while. So let's get into the interior. So this car has the Dakota black leather interior, and it also has this hexagon aluminium trim with the Astral blue strip below as well, which goes right across the dash. And as you can see, the Astral blue continues onto the door cards as well. Now we'll just turn off the fog lights. Okay, so this is a very low mileage car. It's only got 9,862 miles on the clock so far. And it's got the 3-spoke leatherette M Sport multifunction steering wheel. It's a very nice looking wheel. I really like the overall design of it. And you also got the M badge located down there and very thick 10-2 notches. And of course it's got the electronic power assisted steering rack, and you also got the paddle shifters mounted on the back of the steering wheel. You also got your cruise control on the left, as well as your media controls located off to the right, as well as voice command. And you also got these buttons here, well actually just this one button on the stock there, and you can go through the truck computer using that, as you can see there. So this time I got about 45 miles of range left. So brand new, this car would have cost about €56,390, and this one has the optional Media Pro Professional, which costs about an extra €1,309. So we'll actually just go and see what the sound quality is like. Bearing in mind this car has the standard sound system.
Starting with rugby,
so it's quite good, very good sound quality from it. You can of course have the optional Harman Kardon sound system, and if you do, you get additional speakers located here. Okay, so we'll just turn down the volume there. So of course you got the signature iDrive system, which you find in all BMWs, and you also got all your shortcut controls here for the menu, telephone, navigation, radio, as well as your back and options. And then you got the actual wheel itself, so you can click it left and right, up and down. You can scroll it, and then you can push it down to make a selection. So if we actually just look at the screen here, you can select between the multimedia, the radio, telephone, navigation, and all sorts of settings. And if we go into the navigation itself, we can actually take a look at the map. As you can see, it's a very big screen, and if I click the wheel over to the left, you got a variety of options here for the satellite navigation, but the screen and the overall display is really nice. And then if we go back into the menu, you got your connected drive, vehicle information, go into settings. There's a variety of things you can alter here, from the touchpad, time and date, connections, and so on. There's quite a few options to play with in this car. And if I click option down here by the wheel itself, you can have a split screen view. So for example, you could have the sat nav on one side of the screen, or you could have the radio on the other. So it's very handy to have that choice. And then we can just turn it off, and we got the full screen display. So as you can see, it's a very nice, intuitive system to use, user friendly. And there's a lot of things to go through. At the moment it's giving me, for example, the overall condition of the engine. It's telling me that the oil level is okay. There's a lot of things you can go through here. For example, if I click into this trip computer, it tells me all sorts of things regarding start times, distance, average MPG, and so on. And then it's very easy to connect your phone to the Bluetooth system in the car. I just press telephone, go into the Bluetooth menu, search for your phone, and as you can see, it's a very easy thing to use. And you can also activate and deactivate the car's internal Bluetooth system. So the iDrive system is very nice and easy to use, much better than I think than the older iDrive systems. It's very simple, and you get used to it in no time at all. Of course, all these shortcuts are replicated in the screen itself, so it wouldn't take you very long to get used to that system. And then down here you got all your preset stations, your CD player, you got your dual zone climate control with 3-stage heated front seats for the driver and passenger sides, and a very nice LCD display as well. Then coming down here, if I just move the keys, you got this little bit of padding here, or little area section by these lines, and you can just put a few things on that. And then you also got your cup holders with a 12-volt power outlet located there. And then coming into center console, you got your traction control, your different driving modes. So for example, we'll just look at them from here. So this here is the most economical version, and actually if we actually just pay attention to this screen, I think this will be better. Then you can go into comfort mode, which is kind of everyday mode, and then sport mode, so that quickens up the throttle response to gear changes and so on. And then sport plus, sorry, I just hit it there. Now sport plus is really, if you were to take this car for example on a track day, you might use sport plus. It loosens up the traction control, but it doesn't turn it completely off. It just allows you to get the back of the car out a little bit. And if you want, of course, you can just completely turn off the traction control itself by pressing this button here. But I think we're going to put it back into comfort mode for now. And then we get to the gearbox. It's the 8-speed sport automatic transmission, and if you get that, you also get the paddle shifters as standard. You don't get paddle shifters with the standard automatic transmission. And it's very easy to navigate through. Just apply the foot brake, press the unlock button, and select between reverse, neutral, drive, and then you can change gears manually using the gear stick or the paddle shifters for a more sporty feel. Then just press P to put it back into park. And of course you got the old style and much preferred handbrake lever as opposed to an electronic parking brake. And one thing I will say about this black interior is you can actually choose to have this full black Dakota leather, but you can actually choose to have the stitching in a matching blue. I think it might be the same straw blue, but personally if it was me and I was getting the black interior, I would certainly have the blue stitching. It would match really well with the blue trim and of course the blue of the outside of the car. And then you got this nicely padded leather center mounted armrest. So if we just open that up here, you got a shallow storage area there with your auxiliary and USB. You could fit a few things in there, but not too many bulky items. And then you got the auto dimming interior mirror, as well as the BMW SOS system located just there. So the overall interior of this car is really nice. I really like this sporty M Sport chunky steering wheel. Very nice to have that. And I really like the iDrive system, and the overall interior is a very nice place to be. And I do like the blue strip there, which of course helps brighten it up and just gives it a bit more color in here. And also, before I forget, just over here above the engine start stop button, you got the start stop system itself. So of course, if you stop at traffic lights, the engine will cut out, and then as soon as you apply the accelerator, the engine starts up again. Okay, so coming along to the back seat area of the car, I got the driver's seat in my driving position, and sitting behind myself I got quite a good amount of leg room, which is very nice. And there's actually cutouts in the back of the seat here. There's no storage pockets in the back of the front seats, but in saying that, there is a lot of space back here. Headroom is very good. You got rear ventilation located down there in the center console. Unfortunately, the center transmission tunnel does bulge up a bit, so the center passenger might not be so comfortable. And you also got the center mounted armrest as well, good in size. You also got your two cup holders located in there as well. But overall, it's quite a spacious back seat. Legroom and headroom is excellent. Bonnet, you just pull this handle twice. As you can see, it's just instructed there on the handle itself. The engine is a 3-litre straight 6 turbo diesel. It produces 255 brake horsepower with a top speed of 155 miles per hour, which is electronically limited. It also puts out 423 foot-pounds of torque, does 0 to 62 in about 5.6 seconds. And it's estimated this car can do about 58 miles to the gallon. Alright guys, so we're going to start this review out in a dual carriageway, and I think we'll put the car into Sport Plus mode and engage the paddle shifters and see what the power is like. Okay, well, it's certainly got some power anyway. There's a very strong pull from the 3-litre diesel engine, got about 400 plus foot-pounds of torque, and wow, this thing really pulls strong. If I just drop it down to gear again, oh wow, that is good. That's amazing. So about the 3 Series, well, I have to say, out here in the open roads, it is a very nice car to drive. It's actually rather quiet and quite smooth. There is a little bit of tie roar getting in, just a little bit, but I think that's mostly down to the run flat tires. Now, run flat tires come standard on BMWs these days, and there's upsides and downsides to them. The upside to run flats is if you get a puncture, there's like a gel or some kind of resin in the tire which will seal up the puncture temporarily, so you can nurse the car to a tire center and get it fixed. But the downside is, because of this gel or resin stuff that they put in the tires, it does affect the ride quality. It makes the tires very hard compared to normal tires, and this can upset ride quality if you're going over, for example, rougher bits of roads. So I think we're actually just going to put the suspension back into comfort at the moment. And yeah, when you go from Sport Plus back to comfort mode, you can feel the car kind of pulling back its power a little bit, so it's not as edgy. But when you put your foot down, it does still kick in pretty strong. Now, as I said, out here in the open roads, the run flat tires aren't really much of a problem. As I said, tiny bit of tire roar, but overall it's quite nice to drive. Very similar to other BMW 3 Series that I would have driven before. Now, where this car differs from a normal 3 Series like an SE, for example, is the M Sport styling kit really enhances this car a lot. I mean, this M Sport steering wheel is lovely, and the quality of the leather feels really nice, and you got the 10 and 2 notches. And the overall interior is just a very pleasant place to be. Everything's nicely designed. I really like the way the dash is done in these cars. I love the size of the screen there. It's just the right size. The iDrive system is lovely to use. But I think from the outside, this car looks perfect. I mean, the Astral Blue is a beautiful color, and I really like the wheels on this car. You can have, I think, 4 or 5 different types of alloy wheels on a M Sport 3 Series. And the sun protection glass, of course, that's an optional extra from the factory. I think it's like an extra €300 or something like that. But so far, so good with the 3. Okay, so let's see about this power once more. Now we have the car in sport mode this time, not Sport Plus, and my god, this thing has very strong acceleration. I mean, the 3-litre diesel, the torque is just there whenever you need it. It's brilliant. Now, as I said earlier, you can have a 335D, which has more power because it's got a twin turbo system, and I can only imagine that the torque in that thing would be brilliant. I mean, you even tap the accelerator and you'd be taken off in no time. That's the good thing about these diesel engines, is you have lots of low-end torque, and the power is just always there when you need it. Personally, if I was buying a 3 Series or even a 5 Series, I wouldn't get the 2-litre. I mean, the 2-litre is good, it has power and it's got fuel economy, but if you can afford to stretch to the 3-litre, by all means do, because you're still going to get over 40 mpg out of this thing, but you're just going to get loads of power, over 200 horsepower. I mean, it's brilliant. And if you can afford to get an M Sport model, you should get that as well. So much nicer looking than a standard 3 Series. I mean, I've been around a lot of normal 3 Series before. I've driven a few, but honestly, the M Sport really is worth the extra money if you can afford it. And of course, you can have an M Sport variant with the petrol engines. There's quite a few to choose from there, but here in Ireland, the diesel will always probably be the more popular choice, just more economical, plenty of torque. And yeah, honestly, it's just a great combination of fuel economy and power. And out here in the open road, it's a lovely relaxing cruiser. I mean, you could do a long distance journey in this 330D. You'd be quiet, or not, sorry, the car would be very quiet. You'd be relaxed, you'd really enjoy the trip. I just find that it's a very, very pleasant car to drive out here. But we're going to go ahead now and find some back roads and see what it's like out there. Okay, so we're just going to enter some back roads here, so let's see about the power once more. Yeah, you never get bored of the instant torque that you get from these diesel engines. As I said, it's very low down in the rev range, and as soon as you put your foot down, you're off. So, suspension, let's see. Well, this car has the standard suspension. Now, you can get a M Sport suspension, which would be a lot firmer and probably not ideal for daily driving, if I'm being completely honest. But so far, it's rather comfortable back here. I can feel maybe a little bit of vibration getting in here, but I'm going to put that down to the run flat tires, because they do firm up the ride quite a bit. Now, personally, if I was buying a car like this, or a BMW in general, I probably would just get the run flats swapped out for normal tires, because, I mean, if you get a puncture, I mean, that's great and all, the gel seals it up, but I really don't want the harsh ride quality that comes with run flats. I would much rather have more comfortable ride and just change the wheel myself if I got a puncture. But out here though, it does seem quite nice to drive. It handles the bumps quite well, and the overall handling of the car is excellent too. So about this automatic transmission, well, as I said, it's an 8-speed sport automatic, and versus a standard gearbox that you would get in a normal 3 Series, it just allows for quicker, sportier shifts. It's kind of more aggressive in the way it changes gears. So it's really nice. But should you get that over a standard automatic transmission? Well, I don't know actually. I mean, it is sportier, you know, it does allow for quicker gear changes, but even here in normal drive mode, it changes gears quite nicely. It's going to help return pretty decent fuel economy. So I don't know, it kind of depends on your driving style. If you really want a very sporty 3 Series, then yeah, you could get the sport automatic. But if you just want a nice looking M Sport, but you still want, you know, the best possible ride quality, and you just want it to be set up more for comfort, then I say standard suspension, standard automatic gearbox or manual. But overall, I really like this car. Out in the open roads, it's lovely, it's relaxing, it's easy to drive. The 3-litre diesel engine has more than enough power. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could upgrade to the 335 diesel and get even more power and more torque, and still pretty decent fuel economy. And then out in the side roads, just a little bit bumpy, probably because of the run flats, but overall, I must say the ride quality in this car is excellent. So I've driven a few of these 3 Series over the years, haven't filmed them all, if I'm honest. I actually think the last 3 Series I filmed a review of was a 320 diesel luxury about a year ago, and I enjoyed that car as well. But I must say the M Sport has certainly won me over. It's definitely my favourite version of this car. The only complaint I have, and it's not actually with this M Sport, it's actually with the M3, is you can't get the current generation M3 with Astral Blue anymore, which is unfortunate because it is definitely one of the nicest colours you can have. You can have the M3 with a lighter shade of blue called Yas Marina Blue, which looks alright, and then there's a darker shade called Tanzanite Blue, which again looks good. But if I were to buy an M3, I would definitely want an Astral Blue. If BMW actually allows you to get custom colours, I would say Astral Blue M3 manual gearbox. That would be the car I would get. But certainly if I wanted a 3 Series, you know, that's economical and nice to drive on a daily basis, definitely get one of the 3-litre diesel engines. Knowing me, I'd probably end up getting a 335 diesel. But anyway guys, I've rambled on long enough. I think you know what I think of this car, and if you're considering buying a 3 Series M Sport, you should. It's definitely worth it for the extra bit of styling you get. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.